Okay, on the SPYs. Pre-market, we're up near yesterday's high. We caught a bid pretty early, ripped above 272 on the open, came back down, didn't quite get to 270 and closed strong. So I view this as constructive price action, just back inside of this range from a couple of weeks ago. The way that thing's set up a couple of weeks ago was here was Thursday's action, and on Friday closed at the high. People anticipated the gap up Monday, they got it. And then we had the hard reversal on Wednesday, Thursday. So we're kind of right back up there. 274 to 275 is what I would consider significant resistance for today, about $1 above where we are now. And I'd be looking at 272 to 272.30. We start to sell off for a bit. IWM continues to show relative strength to the SPYs. So you can see it already took out the prior high here. So again, if we go back further, so the all-time high from 160.50, it's about $4 below that now, 3%. So that's definitely relative strength there on IWM compared to where the SPY is in relation to its all-time high.
So here the Senate specials on clearance.
It's getting really close to this area where when the market broke down, see it had the consolidation below 160. It pushed back up to 158.35 and failed. So we're 47 cents away from that. I'm sorry, we're $1.47 away from that. So we got some room to 158. At 158, I'd buy some 154 puts, sell some 148s against it, because we get a pullback there. All right, Kroger. So, oh shit. Just put a little Kroger here. That's weird. Just give me 1 second. I think I must put in the wrong type of script. Okay, so Kroger's numbers are okay. Here's the daily. So it had gone down to 20 and it got back up to here. It took out this 30.80 resistance. It reversed then pretty hard once it got back down below 30. So this little gap here, 24.40, which is where I just bought it. So that was my thought, like 24 to 24.50 could flush into this here, would catch a bid, maybe trade back up. I don't know about 26, but certainly 25, 25.50, something like that. So let's zoom in. So I guess it did get down to 24 here. Yeah, that's real. So that already played out. Doesn't mean it can't play out again now. So anyway, you start to nibble here, you get a flush to here, play some sort of bounce, cover all your risk into this, and kind of see what happens. Then you want to see it actually hold above 24.50. Move on to the next thing. IGT. So I wasn't able to really glean a lot of information from their release. They did have a slight beat on revenue, which I thought maybe that's why it was gapping higher. So let's just look at it on the daily. So after the huge run up to the low 30s, they cut it in almost in half. So if we look at it over the last few months, I had this straight run to 27 and a half. Couldn't get to 30, came off hard, got above, didn't get above 30, got almost to 30. So 30 is going to be, did I put that as an inflection? Resistance 29 and a half, 30. Yeah, I guess my thought is it would probably fail here at 30 first, and then we'd get a retest of like 29 to 28.70, something like that. We don't really have enough volume to make any judgments on this. It's only traded 21,000. So the volume's heavy today. Could easily do between 5 and 8 million shares. So first thing I'm going to watch, though, is see if it's holding above or below $30 and then play it from there. Comes off real hard, quickly to 28, as I said, below 29, like 28 and a half to 29. And I'll see if it can catch a bid like right in here. And then holding above 30, I had 32 as the next resistance. Win. So they released their numbers early to let people know they're doing fine with the, sometimes this happens after like a CEO is out. They want to say, hey, let investors know things are doing okay. You know, if we look at it, we still have this marked up from when we looked at it last time. It had come back down. Didn't quite, I guess it did actually test the low when the market went down last week. Kind of see that wick right there. But really a lot of accumulation in the low 160s over the last few weeks. And the equivalent, you know, if it catches back up to where LVS is in relation to its high, puts it back up here closer to 180. Let's call it 178 to 180. So what did I put for support? So what I'm thinking is if it's going to do that in the next week or so, it probably catches a bid above 170. First spot I would look for is right here. Catches a bid 172, gets back up to 174, 175, and you take some. You try to ride it out for that move, the catch up low to LVS. That was my thought on this one. ESRX, so this is a big merger. I put the deal terms on the sheet so you can kind of calculate it in your head, or if you have a platform where you can run a script on where it calculates where the price should be. Basically, something like this is just going to trade at a discount to whatever the takeout price is. When I looked at it earlier, it was around a little bit over 10%, which means the market thinks there's a decent amount of risk the deal might not get through, whether that's legal risk or whatever the case may be. But it's a decent amount. There could be some money to be made here as the spread maybe narrows. And even if there's some perceived risk there for the spread to get down to 8-9%, that's some upside in terms of narrowing. The question will be though, CI, since part of the deal is 0.24 shares of CI for each share of ESRX, is as this comes off, which it looks like it did come off a couple of dollars in the pre-market here. That's the equivalent of 50 cents discounting. Anyway, I'm going to look at it at 85. I think I put it, at 85 and 84 alerts. That would be a pretty good move off of pre-market highs. 88, 89, as long as CI is not collapsing. Catches a bid. Actually, looks like it already caught a bid at 85 a little bit. Yeah, I probably should have had a bid in there for a little bit. It's already touched 85 once and popped up to 86.60. Clearly people are waiting here at 85 to buy it again. Let's zoom in a little more. You can see how it held a little bit higher this time at 85 and a quarter. So it seems like other people are thinking the same thing. Bid stepped up to 60 cents now. So 85 will be a good judgment of strength if other people are looking to buy it there. DLTR. So DLTR was back on the desk for a little. I'm sorry, I wasn't on the desk. I was out of the office yesterday. Checked it out though. It did fail. Remember, the idea was, could it bounce from, well, the first idea was to short it, but then since right on the open it got down to long-term support, I got long. It never got kind of back up to good short prices. Yeah, but it had a decent bounce here from 88 the first time, almost to 90, so it covered the risk. We got a little bit below and back above, and I thought maybe it would actually bounce this time and do one of these. But got stopped out, flipped it short, wasn't watching it, just put a stop right back above. Where was it? I think it was actually here I got short, got stopped out on some of these wicks here. Then it did go down $1. Looks like it double bottomed at 87, and this is a pretty good bounce, about $2.50, and now it's gapping up this morning with an upgrade. So I still think it's probably a decent short into this. It starts holding below 90 again. You can play it on the short side as well. Let's take a look at ANF. ANF is pretty close to what I thought could happen if longer term, big picture, it's going to go higher. They flushed it right on the open and didn't quite get to 22. Let's take a look at it. So what a bid at 22.30. I think it might have been the level way on the sheet. I don't remember. And then went up $2. So their general rule, here's just a general rule that I've seen this in the last couple of weeks a few times. If a stock that you're watching actually, whether it's weak or strong in the open, puts in its high here right in the open, comes off and then it gets bought, you want to look for some type of consolidation above this blue line here. Now, sometimes you'll get it, it'll come back up, and right here it'll fail, and you get a chance to buy it here and catch a move like that. But in this case, it went up $1 and then came back down. You want to buy into this as long as it's holding, and you can see it move sideways for 15 minutes there. You want to buy it against 23.50 with a stop below 40, 30 cents, something like that. So you might catch a move, right back up to the high. In this case, it only bounced around 65 cents, which isn't bad, but was accumulated the rest of the day. Any type of consolidations above the morning high, a stock that's trending higher, you want to get long there. It's a very simple, easy play. Buyers are in control is basically the point. Looking at it today, clearly 23.50, and below that, if they flushed it below that, I would be a buyer into 23.15 or so. And then finally, ADSK. So ADSK, I thought this was, best case scenario in terms of showing strength. We had the 128 support. And then I think what I said in the morning meeting was, if it can't even get it below 130, that would be kind of the strongest in terms of a lack of profit taking. So in this situation with something of that much, usually, you're going to see some profit taking on the open. I guess the low print was 130, and this is pretty wild. It took out the morning high here, but similarly came back down after the morning high and started to hold 133, and then actually wicked down there one more time here. And so this is buyers in control now. Did it come off really hard again and test this little pullback area? Yes, it did. It closed at the high. It's a very strong stock. I probably would have an alert at 136. Right here, did I put? Yeah, they put 136 on the sheet. And then below that is the 134 level. So we could spend some time in the 130s before the next big move.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.